Karma Brands radio station.
Michael K. is on the radio today, and he ain't afraid to say what he's thinking. It's the Michael K. Show on 880 ESPN Radio.
And a good afternoon, everybody. This is indeed the Michael K. Show. We thank you for joining us on this Wednesday. It is September 24th, 2025. Yankees clinch a postseason berth. The Mets with a much-needed victory. And Jaxson Dart, it broke yesterday right before the show began, is the starting quarterback for the Giants. And Brian Daboll, the coach of the Giants, went a little bit further today when he met with the media. This is not a one-off. Listen to Brian Daboll talk about the future with Jaxson Dart.
So in terms of the quarterback situation, I met both with Russ yesterday and Jaxson privately, and Russ was nothing but a pro, which I would expect him to be. It's my decision. We're going with Jaxson. We're going to get him ready to play this week and the remainder of the season. He's going to do everything he can. Russ will be the backup. The conversations that I've had with these young men will be private. The details will be private. All I can tell you is we're going with Jaxson, and we're getting ready to play. So I'm not going to add too much to it. Those are private conversations. It's my decision, and we're going with Jaxson.
Well, there you have it. And I think that makes sense. I mean, to just go back and forth, that's ridiculous. The only reason that Jaxson Dart should ever leave the starting lineup is, God forbid, if he gets hurt. You know, you go into him week 4, you stay with him through the 17th game of the season. That's all there is to it. You go through the growing pains. Remember when Eli took over for Kurt Warner, there was a day that his quarterback rating was 0.0, and he was dreadful for most of the time. And then he had that one spark of greatness in the final game that he played that season. And that carried over, obviously, into the next season. This is about growing pains. This is about Jaxson Dart becoming an NFL starter, and this is about Brian Daboll trying to save his job. That's what it comes down to. I know it sounds harsh, it doesn't sound pretty, but the bottom line is he's trying to save his hide. Because if there is no maturation of Jaxson Dart, if he doesn't look good, if he looks lost, if he looks like a deer in the headlights, then, Brian Daboll was wrong. Brian Daboll then put his job on the line for Joe Schoen to trade up into the first round and select Jaxson Dart with the 25th pick of the first round. And if he does not show it, if he has nothing, then you know what? Brian Daboll's going to be out of a job. I think he realizes it. And that's why I was a little surprised they went to him in week 4, because there's a lot of time for him to be wrong. But if you look at the glass half full, there's a lot of time for him to be right too. I mean, I think 3 of the next 5 Giant games right now are scheduled against teams that are undefeated, 2 of them being the Eagles. And the one that he's going to debut against is the Los Angeles Chargers, who have looked great. So they've got a suffocating defense, and it's going to be interesting to see what they do with Jaxson Dart. Jaxson Dart has played 2 series so far this season in games that count, and they all were run plays. He handed the ball off, and he ran twice. Didn't throw once. So we'll see exactly. He's not going to be able to do that Sunday. So we'll see exactly what he's going to do. So you just heard Joe Schoen say, Brian Daboll say, it's for the rest of the year. Makes sense. Now, what I'm expecting to hear at some point, Russell Wilson might want out. Right now, he's playing the good soldier. He's going to be the backup quarterback. But after a point, when you're 36 years old and you want to be a starting quarterback, you probably want to go someplace where you have a chance to start. He doesn't have a chance to start here unless Jaxson Dart gets hurt. And nobody wants to see another guy get hurt. Now, the flip side of that is Russell Wilson's running out of places that are going to start him. The Giants are desperate. They desperately needed a quarterback to perform at least minimally okay. He couldn't do that. What team in the NFL is actually starting Russell Wilson? So maybe he's just content. I'll take my $10.5 million. I'll be the good soldier. I'll be the backup quarterback, and that'll be that. But he can't be too happy. And I'm sure that the Giants didn't make him any assurances when they signed him, well, you're going to be the starter for this long. They didn't do that. I don't think they would. And if they did, then he would be kicking up a storm right now, which he's not. And for the most part, everything you heard about Russell Wilson, he's a good guy. So I don't think he wants to being a burr under the saddle for Jaxson Dart. He'll probably do the right thing and try to teach him, and we'll see how it goes. At least the Giants are changing the narrative from being 0-3, right? So they started off 0-3, and if they ran out Russell Wilson, there would be boos and stuff like that, and people would be upset. Now the whole narrative changes. It's not about 0-3. It's all about Jaxson Dart. How is he going to play? Be interesting. It will be interesting. So that's the latest, obviously, from the head coach of the New York Giants. We just got that, and we wanted to pass it along to you. All right, so many things to talk about today, and obviously we are going to start with good old baseball, and we'll lead off with Diamond Notes, brought to you by London Jewelers. It's funny how in sports the narrative does change. It really does. And it's really the way it ends, the way a team is going to be remembered. It's not the difficulty in getting to the end. It's the end. It's the end. And I have proof positive of that. You know, the Yankees won the American League East last year. They won the American League pennant last year. And people remember that, well, Aaron Judge didn't hit in the postseason. That's what they remember, because that's the end, and that's the thing that matters most. And they remember the fifth inning of Game 5. And they'll remember, you know, bringing in Nestor Cortez in Game 1 rather than Tim Hill. That's what you remember. You don't remember how they got there. I mean, when you sit back and you reflect, you know, obviously those things will come into play, but it's how it ends that will be the way history is written. So let's take a look at the New York Yankees yesterday that clinched a postseason berth. And they still have more things they want to do. And as Aaron Boone says, you know, that's just one box that's checked. They want to check a lot of boxes. So at this point, the way the Yankees have played right now, and since August 11th, they have the best record in baseball. They're 27-12, the best record in baseball. They've played much better than they had previous to that. And previous to that, they were 20-31. And people were rightfully going nuts. They're going crazy. This team's not even going to make the playoffs. There's receipts now. You bookmark this. This is on social media. It's amazing that people feel so emboldened to say bookmark this. So many people said the Yankees are not making the playoffs. All right, we bookmarked it, and they made the playoffs. And again, that's forgotten. And that's the real genius of social media. You say whatever stupid thing you want to say, whatever drastic thing you want to predict, whatever dramatic thing that you want to put out there to get clicks and to get noticed. And then if it doesn't work, you move on to the next thing. You don't really have a conscience. You don't have ethics and morals. You just want to say something that's going to get attention. And then, if it works out, you were right. And if it doesn't work out, so what? I've never had that gene in me. That's why I've never been that kind of talk show host that's going to just, I'm going to say whatever I have to say to get attention that day. Because I know there are receipts. And it's always going to come back. It's always going to come back. And to me, it would haunt me that I could be so wrong, that I would put myself out on a limb and be so wrong. It doesn't haunt other people. God bless them. God bless them. Good for them. But I can't be that way. I wish I could. Maybe this job would be a little bit easier. But everything that I say on this show, I mean. I mean it at that point. And I'm going to tell you right now, at 20-31, I had serious doubts about whether the Yankees could be good enough to make a run in the playoffs. They did everything wrong. They played defense badly. They didn't hit. They made bad decisions on the bases. They made bad decisions in the field. They just looked lackluster and lost and lifeless, whatever the case may be, whatever you want to call it. It wasn't pretty. But sometimes we lose sight of the fact that it's a very long season. This is 162 games in 180 days. It's a marathon. It's the longest professional sports season that we have. There are going to be ebbs and flows. There are very few 1998s where everything goes great. And if you really delve into 1998, and I lived it, the Yankees ended up 125-50 when you count the playoff wins and the World Series wins. But at the end of September, they were awful. They should have won way more than 114 games. They really should have finished the season with 121, 122 games as wins in the regular season. They should have put that record away, but they got bored. And that's the whole thing when it comes to a long season. There are going to be ups and downs, peaks and valleys, whatever you want to call it. So when I had doubts at 20-31, I expressed those doubts on the show, but I never said anything with certitude like, well, they're not going to make the playoffs, because I think it's stupid and ill-advised to go out on a limb like that when this is a sport that will make you look dumb all the time. So I don't want to look dumb. I said, you know what, they're not playing well. They don't look good. They've got to improve things. You know what, they did improve things. They had a great trade deadline for the most part. They improved their bench exponentially. They went out and they got a closer. The other two relievers they got, it hasn't worked out that great. You're going to hit some, you're going to miss some. But they hit enough to change the complexion of the team. And one of the guys they got yesterday, or one of the guys they got at the trade deadline, Jose Caballero, has changed the complexion of the team in terms of their energy. And he got the walk-off hit yesterday to send the Yankees into the postseason for the 60th time. And one more quick addendum on that. The Yankees have made the postseason 60 times. This is an organization that was born in 1903. So 60 times they've gone to the postseason, and 27 times they've won a World Series. The next closest team in terms of going to the postseason, the Dodgers with 39. That includes this year. The Yankees are 21 trips to the postseason ahead of the second-place team. So when Yankee fans feel like they're put upon and how aggravated they are that they haven't won since 2009, all legitimate complaints. Just remember, your team, the team that you have chosen to root for, has been to the postseason more than any other team, and it's not even close. It's not even close. And it's not just, oh, that's ancient history. It's not ancient history. Because they've done it a lot lately. This is the 26th trip to the postseason since 1995. The next closest team, the Atlanta Braves, with 21 of those appearances, and this year is not going to be one of them. But I digress. That was just a quick aside. So as they're celebrating yesterday, getting into at least the wild card, and they have higher aspirations because with the Blue Jays losing to the Red Sox, the Yankees are now one game back of Toronto. So they have 5 games left to make up 2. 5 games left to make up 2. Can it be done? Of course it can be done. I've told you before, and I know you're probably rolling your eyes at it, they can't tie the Blue Jays because the Blue Jays beat them in head-to-head. That's a tiebreaker, so they have to pick up 2 games. The Blue Jays have 2 more games against the Red Sox, one tonight, and then they have 3 games that they finish against Tampa Bay. The Yankees have 2 more games against the White Sox and then 3 games this weekend at the stadium against the Baltimore Orioles. So will it be done? I have no idea. But what I'm trying to say is how the narrative has changed. Because if you look at the Yankees now, we had a caller yesterday who asked, do you think the Yankees are the best team in baseball now? I don't think they're the best team in baseball. I think there are other teams that can claim that and feel more sure of it. I think the Milwaukee Brewers feel that they're the best team in baseball. The Phillies feel that they're the best team in baseball. I don't think the Dodgers feel that way, not with the pitching in disarray and their bullpen a huge question mark. And I don't think there's anybody in the American League that could boldly say we are the best team in baseball. But that's what I mean by how narratives change. Because the Yankees are now in the discussion that they might be the best team in baseball, that they have a chance to go to the World Series. And when they were going 20-31, that's a third of the season, none of us thought that, including me. So they have climbed a mountain. They have straightened out a lot of the problems that they have. They're a home run hitting team with 2 great starting pitchers to start off any series. Max Fried, who's starting tonight, and then Carlos Rodon. That's the first 2 starters if the Yankees start in the wild card. Number 3, we'll see who that's going to be. But again, all discussions to be had. None of those discussions are break up the Yankees, fire Aaron Boone, get rid of Brian Cashman. I know a lot of Yankee fans don't want to hear it, and they don't feel good about hearing it from me. But maybe, just maybe, the things that aggravate all of us, the things that anger all of us about the attention to analytics and how it's a collaborative effort rather than just the manager making every single decision, maybe it works. Maybe it works to an extent that every year they're going to have an opportunity to win a World Series. Now, they haven't since 2009, so I think that there might be a little bit of a blip in the entire calculus to win a championship. Maybe a little bit of a blip. But the fact that they have a chance every single year to win a championship, that does tell you something. So that leads me into an incredible win for the Mets yesterday. They were down 6-1, and you figure, here we go. They can't get out of their own way. Well, Dansby Swanson made an error, opened up the gates, and the Mets took advantage of it. A 3-run home run by Nimmo ended up tying the game at 6-6. Mets took a 7-6 lead, and then the Cubs came back at 7-7. And then in the 8th inning, Francisco Alvarez hits a 2-run home run, and that makes it 9-7. And the Mets win a game of unbelievable importance. Unbelievable importance. Because the one thing that I've told you over and over again, I think the Mets are going to persevere and get a playoff spot because the teams that are chasing them, in my opinion, simply aren't good enough. Now, the Reds had won 5 in a row, and they start a series at home against the Pirates yesterday. You can't lose to the Pirates, especially when Paul Skeens is not pitching. And they lost to the Pirates 4-2. That's a team that's not ready for prime time. If you have a real desire to make the playoffs and to unseat the Mets, you got to beat the Pirates. You can't lose 4-2. You can't get shut down like that. And now they send Hunter Green out to the mound tonight, but they're facing Paul Skeens. So they put themselves in a bad position. Now, the Diamondbacks did end up winning yesterday. They beat the Dodgers 5-4. So they're tied with the Reds, 1 game behind the Mets. So in one big win for the Mets in Chicago against the Cubs, they have taken back. I hate when people say this. They've taken back the fact that they control their own destiny. Nobody controls destiny. It's destiny. But we fall into that cliche. Again, that's my little thing that bothers me. Oh, they now control their destiny. You can't control destiny. It's destiny. But they do control their narrative. If they win out, they're in. So if they win these next 2 games against the Cubs, and then they win the 3 games in Miami against the Marlins, they're in. There's nothing that anybody else could do. Jonah Tong starts tonight against Matthew Boyd, who's a pretty good pitcher for the Cubs. But the Cubs are playing pretty bad baseball right now. So here's my point. And by the way, the Cubs could drop out of the number 1 wild card spot, and that 3-game series could be played in San Diego. That 3-game series could be played in San Diego. So that's a costly drop by the Cubs. They just got swept in 4 games by the Reds, and they lose the first game to the Mets that they're leading 6-1. Getting back to the opening point, though. If the Mets make the playoffs, and then let's say in some strange twist of fate, they end up beating the Dodgers in Chavez Ravine in the wild card round. And then they get hot and they win the division series. And then we're back in the National League Championship Series. Everything that we've been saying about the Mets, all the things that's wrong with the Mets, the pitching's not there. David Peterson was dreadful again yesterday. The bad defense, McNeil with 2 errors, a misplayed fly ball by Soto that ended up allowing 2 runs to score, and that ball had a 17% chance of being caught, of being a base hit. I mean, Soto has to make that play. The defensive negatives that they have, the bad starting pitching, the bullpen, it will all go away. So let's wait before we write the narrative on the 2025 Mets. Because it's not how you start. It's not what happens in the middle. It's what happens at the end. The Mets could rewrite their narrative where we will not look at this 2025 season as one of the colossal disappointments in all of Major League Baseball history, in all of professional sports history, that a team with a $340 million payroll did make the playoffs. I believe they will make the playoffs. And then if they win that first round, we're not going to feel as badly about this team as we do right now. And I know we live in a society that, what have you done for me yesterday? Forget about lately. What have you done for me as recently as yesterday? But in baseball, that's not the smart way to play. That's not the smart way to write a narrative. And I know no one wants to wait to see how it plays out because you want to be involved in the ebbs and the flows, moment to moment, inning to inning, pitch to pitch. Get it. Got it. Good. But I'm telling you, you're all going to have egg on your face. Like the people that said, bookmark this on X. Bookmark this. Yankees aren't making the playoffs. They did that in July. How do you feel now? Maybe you don't feel bad at all because you like making yourself an idiot. People that are screaming about the Mets are awful, this and that. What a disgrace. If they make the playoffs and then they go off on a run, those things, if you have any kind of feeling about your reputation, you'll look like an idiot for the thing. Excuse me, for the things that you put out on social media, to quit on a team. Yankee fans that said, I wish this team loses so they make changes. How do you feel now? I want to hear from all of you. I really do. The people that said, I hope they don't make the playoffs so that Boone and Cashman would get fired. And at the time I said, if they don't make the playoffs, Boone's not getting fired, Cashman's not getting fired. So now that they've made the playoffs and they actually look really good and they actually look like they could get back to the World Series, what do those people feel now? Those one that was so emboldened to make those strong statements about, I hope they don't make it. Do you hope they don't win the World Series now so that you could be right? Do you hope that they don't make a run so that you could show that Brian Cashman and his front office calculus about how to try to build a winner is wrong? I guess the question is, would you rather be right and have them lose, or would you rather be dead wrong and have them win their 28th championship? I wonder. And Met fans, you're angry. You're angry at David Stearns. You're angry at a lot of things about the way this team is built. Would you rather be right or would you rather be wrong? Because I think being a fan in 2025 is completely different than it was being a fan when I was growing up, say in 1970s or 1980s. We didn't have the information at our disposal, nor did we have the megaphone of social media or sports talk radio in order to make maybe the feelings that you had then but never were able to articulate. Now, everybody has a huge voice. Everybody could put their stupidity out into the ether. In the 1970s, your stupidity was kind of private. You felt things that never got out there, so you never really had a chance to look bad. I mean, if I had social media when Bill Verdon decided to move Bobby Mercer out of center field so that Elliot Maddox would play center field because he felt that Elliot Maddox was a much better center field than Bobby Mercer, I can't even imagine the stuff that I would write and put out into the ether. But that's what people do now, and they call into sports talk radio. And a lot of people are on sports talk radio that might just be fans that would not have the megaphone, and they say things that they don't seem to have any compunction whatsoever of looking dumb and saying dumb things that could come back and haunt them. Because I think the mindset of most of our world, and especially in the sports arena, is, okay, I was wrong, no big deal. I don't operate like that. I can't. I actually believe the stuff I say should have some validity to it. And I take ownership of when I say things that end up being wrong. Others don't. That's the difference on this 2-hour show every single day. I'm not going to spew out nonsense, and then when it doesn't work out, just move on to the next thing like I never said it. Not going to do it. So my teaching spew right now is don't get it, and it's going to go in one ear and out the other for all of you. Don't give up on teams in July. If you're a Yankee fan, a lot of Yankee fans gave up on this team in July because of how bad they looked. And if you're a Met fan, don't give up on this team right now. For over half the season, they've been awful, but they're still in a chance where they can get into the postseason. And once you get into the postseason, anything could happen. Those are Diamond Notes brought to you by London Jewelers. Visit London Jewelers today at any of their 7 locations, including the Americana Mall and the mall at Short Hills. All right, we'll come back. Time for the co-host. I want to hear from you. And as we wait, I want to remind you to shop great new offers at Bay Ridge Mazda. Lease the 2025 Mazda CX-5S for as low as $239 per month or finance for 2.9% APR for 36 months. They will take any trade-in and accept all lease returns, even if you didn't lease with them. Plus, enjoy Bay Ridge Plus benefits like ding and dent coverage, key replacement, windshield protection, and roadside assistance, all included. Visit them in Brooklyn or online at BayRidgeMazda.com. Bay Ridge Mazda, where confidence comes standard. See dealer for details.
Wednesday on Don, Hahn, and Rosenberg. The Yankees clinched a playoff spot. Can they win the division?
We're going to walk into the playoffs with a really good team, capable of beating you a lot of different ways.
The Mets are back in the final wild card spot. Can they hold it?
It comes down to winning. We put ourselves in this position. We got to find a way to get out of it.
Don, Hahn, and Rosenberg today at 3 on 880 ESPN and the ESPN New York app, and streaming live on the ESPN New York YouTube channel.
Are you ready to make a difference for the environment while helping the visually impaired at the same time? Then donate your vehicle to Heritage for the Blind today by calling 1-800-983-6530. Every donated vehicle will either be properly recycled in an eco-friendly manner or given a new life through reuse. Donating your vehicle is easy. Simply call 1-800-983-6530 and Heritage for the Blind will do the rest. They'll even arrange for your vehicle to be picked up at no cost to you. And for a limited time, when you donate your car, you'll receive a $200 restaurant voucher and a 2-night, 3-day hotel stay at one of 50 locations. Call 1-800-983-6530 right now to schedule your vehicle donation and make a positive impact on the environment while helping others. Heritage for the Blind, where every car donation counts and every person makes a difference. Call 1-800-983-6530 now. This advertisement is paid for by Heritage for the Blind.
The Ryder Cup is more than golf. It's a global celebration. And this year, Ryder Cup Live makes you part of it all. Cheer with fans at Rockefeller Center. Join watch parties at New York's favorite bars. Or host your own unforgettable gathering with Ryder Cup Live fan kits. Whether you're in the city, on Long Island, or at home with friends, you can rally behind your team and share in the energy of golf's biggest stage. The Ryder Cup. It's not just a match, it's a movement.
At City Harvest, we believe no New Yorker has to go hungry. With your help, we're on the road 365 days a year, rescuing over 77 million pounds of nutritious food and delivering it free to millions of New Yorkers, transforming surplus food into sustenance, sustainability, and smiles, rallying thousands of New Yorkers to power a network of nourishment across our city. One day, one meal, and one New Yorker at a time. That's how we feed good. Donate at cityharvest.org.
Listen up, friends. It's summer, and you should be out there trying to enjoy yourself. But neck pain, back pain, sciatica, or nerve pain is holding you back. It's time to handle it. I'm telling you, you need to call Dr. Jay Shaw at Sandwell Pain. Dr. Shaw is a double board certified, Ivy League trained. This man is the real deal. No surgery, no scars, no downtime, just results. You can book a same day or next day appointment. He's got 3 convenient locations in Woodbridge, Livingston, and Inglewood, so there's no excuses. You want to get back to your active lifestyle? Dr. Shaw got you covered. Joint pain, migraine, sciatica, nerve pain, gone. No cuts, no medication, no long recovery, just precise image-guided procedures that can get you back to doing what you love. So, here's what you got to do. Get your phone, get online, SandwellPain.com. Book that appointment. You've waited long enough. Don't let pain steal your summer. Don't let pain steal your fun. Call Dr. Jay Shaw today. Go to SandwellPain.com. Relief is closer than you think.
At Uline, the prevailing opinion is, if you don't live it, you don't believe it. The people at Uline believe in hard work, and they live it by being there 24/7 to answer your call, having 41,000 items in stock, and offering same-day shipping from 12 locations across North America. Business owners, sellers, buyers, shippers, and packers believe it. Uline is the hard-working, dependable source for your shipping and industrial supplies. Visit uline.com.
You matter, and so does your well-being. If you're facing tough moments, struggling with anxiety, depression, thoughts of suicide, or substance use, help is here anytime you need it. Call, text, or chat 988 for free confidential support. New Jersey's 988 Suicide and Crisis Lifeline is here 24/7 for you or someone you love, with trained counselors who listen and care without judgment. You matter. Remember New Jersey's 988. A message from the New Jersey Department of Human Services.
What is it that makes the all-new Hyundai Palisade hybrid an incredible SUV? Is it the spacious interior that's comfy for the whole crew? Or the capability to go off-road? Maybe it's up to 600-plus miles of range. Is it the driver behind the wheel? What if it's all of that and more? What is it then? The all-new Hyundai Palisade Hybrid. So much more than just another SUV. Visit HyundaiUSA.com or call 562-314-4603 for more details. That's 562-314-4603.
From kickoff to cash out, ESPN Bet has the tools you need to score more on game days. Bet smarter with stats at your fingertips. Get personalized parlays built just for you. And with your fantasy team synced right in the app, you can back your squad. Right now, new customers get $100 in bonus bets when you bet $10. Sign up with promo code USL to get started. Must be 21 plus. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Terms and conditions apply. See app for details. Offer not available in New York.
Game Time is brought to you by Tullamore Dew Irish Whiskey, because when it's game time, it's Tully time. It's 7:05. The Yankees host the White Sox at the stadium in the Bronx. That game will be on Yes. 8:05. The Mets are in Chicago to play the Cubs. Pre-game coverage begins at 7:20 p.m. That'll be right here on 880 ESPN. 6:40, the Pirates in Cincinnati. 7:07, Red Sox are in Toronto. 9:40, the Dodgers are in Arizona. Tullamore Dew, the original triple distilled, triple blended, triple cask matured Irish whiskey. Be sure to grab a Tullamore Dew or try the new Tullamore Dew Honey during today's action. Glasses up to enjoying Tullamore Dew responsibly. All right, welcome back to the show. Talking about how things could change. You know, middle of the season, the Yankees looked just dreadful. Didn't look like they were going to make the playoffs the way they were playing. And yesterday, they got into the postseason with a walk-off base hit by Jose Caballero, and they still have, I wouldn't say it's a legitimately good chance, but a legitimate chance to finish first in the American League East, which I never thought was possible. Now, I thought there was a possibility they'd make the playoffs because you got 3 wild-card teams, and the American League, as I've said over and over and over again, is not a great league this year. So the bottom line is, they had a chance to get in as a wild card, and they are in as a wild card. They're going to be the number 1 wild card because they have a 3-game lead over the Red Sox with 5 games left to play. But winning the division, I didn't think there was a chance. And I believe, and you'll see it, there's a certain skill to winning when you have to win. And I think it has to be something that is built up over time. The Tigers obviously don't have that skill. They didn't win the division last year. They got in as a wild card. Now all this pressure is heaped on them. I mean, I think they've lost 10.5 games since the beginning of September. So Cleveland beat them yesterday 5-2 with Tarek Skubal on the mound. They play them again tonight. Tomorrow, the Tigers don't even have a starter. They're scrambling to find who the starter's going to be. Maybe it'll be another controlled chaos, people out of the bullpen. It takes something to know how to win. The Blue Jays, I think, are feeling it. They have been unable to close this out. And they had it. And they've been unable to close it out. The Yankees keep winning, and the Blue Jays keep losing. So the Red Sox beat them 4-1. The Blue Jays are in a tough situation right now because the Red Sox need to win these games. Red Sox are trying to hold on to a wild card spot. Cleveland had a great year last year, so it knows how to win. And they're winning when they have to win. I think this iteration of the Astros, I don't think that they're able to win when they have to win. Look at the Reds. That's why I believe the Mets are going to hold on, because the Mets did get to the Game 6 of the NLCS last year. They know how to win games. The Reds don't know how to win these types of games. The Cubs haven't made the playoffs since 2020. They don't know how to win these sorts of games. Milwaukee, little tiny Milwaukee with the low payroll, they know how to win these games. Philadelphia knows how to win these games. The Dodgers know how to win these games. It's called institutional memory. Can the Blue Jays hold on? Sure they can, but they better win some games. Can Detroit straighten things out? It's right there in front of them. They're essentially tied with Cleveland, though, by the win yesterday. By virtue of the win, Cleveland does have the tiebreaker. We're going to see which teams have it in them, in their DNA, to know how to win a big game. Yesterday, the Mets won a big game. Maybe they reverted back to what they were last year. All right, we got to step up. Brandon Nimmo stepped up. Alvarez stepped up. Lindor had a big game, stepped up. There's something to be said for being there, having been there and done that. Let's go to Al in the Bronx to start it off. Al.
Hey, Michael, how are you?
Good. How are you doing?
Thanks for taking my call. Before I make my point, I just want to say I've been listening to you since I was 18 years old, turning 51 in a couple of weeks.
Wow.
You're absolutely on point. I know, I'm sorry. I don't want to make I don't want to age you, but that's the deal. So, listen, this is going out to the Yankee fans. Please, I don't want to hear anyone calling today saying the Yankees shouldn't celebrate. If you're a baseball fan and you understand baseball, exactly what you said, there's ebbs and flows in the season. I watched every single Yankee game. I was happy yesterday when they won. I was happy, that they were celebrating. If you can't enjoy the game, please find something else to do. Please don't call up today complaining about that. I really don't want to hear that. I mean, I understand the pains of bad defense and the problems that we have throughout the season, but that's baseball. That's how it works. I'm not going to keep you long. I know there's other points to get to, but I just wanted to make that point because one more thing. And why would Boone – I understand why Boone does what he does because we got fans that are like rabid piranha that jump all over the players. All right? Allow these guys to celebrate. That's all I got to say.
Well, I'm glad you brought that up, Al, because when they were struggling, and I think it was about a month ago, that I said if the Yankees sneak in as a third wild card, they shouldn't celebrate. And I told you I thought that they would, but I said that they shouldn't. Now, what happened yesterday is not them sneaking in. They've been the best team in baseball since August 11th. They're not sneaking in, and they still have a chance to win the American League East, so I'm okay with them celebrating. But if they got in and just as the third wild card, like on the last day of the season, I thought it would be an awful look to be celebrating that when they're not built for that. So this is just another step in all the steps you have to take to get back to the World Series. And since they still have a chance to win the American League East, a somewhat reasonable chance, yeah, they should have celebrated. Now, the Mets sneak in, like on Sunday, by beating the Marlins, and they're the third wild card, and they have this raucous celebration. To me, that would be a little bit weird. They'll still do it. I guarantee they'll do it. I mean, we saw they celebrated yesterday. They've been playing awful baseball for the last 3 months, and they won a game in Chicago, and they went crazy because, it was a release. But you don't put together a $340 million roster and then go crazy if you get in as a third wild card. But that's what's going to happen. And I understand what Al's saying. It's a long, long process. It's a long season. It's the longest professional sports season that we have out there. It starts in the middle of February and it ends in the first week of November or the last week of October. That's a long time. That's a grind, man, an absolute grind. So they blow off some steam. And I don't think that what the Yankees did yesterday was raucous. I mean, we show it on the Yes Network and they're spraying champagne and beer, and it looks raucous, but I've seen other celebrations that were raucous. I mean, when they got to the World Series last year, that was a raucous celebration in Cleveland. But they got to the World Series. And I think they truly believe that they can get to the World Series again. Henry in South Carolina. Talk to me, Henry.
I love that call by Al. He is absolutely on the same page I am. And as a mental health advocate, I'm always here for Yankee fans to speak to and try to remind them just how good we have it. Michael, if I could quote the great Bill Hicks, life is a ride. And it's bright and colorful, and there's ups and downs, and twists and turns. But decide for yourself, Yankee fans, what ride would you rather be on? The Texas Rangers won the World Series in 2023. They're missing the playoffs for the second year in a row. We have summers that are tumultuous as Yankee fans, and I don't understand why that is. And do I throw my hands in the air? Do I get frustrated? Absolutely. Along with all of us. It's confusing. It's tough. But what ride would you rather be on? I'm happy to be on this ride where we had a summer that was really tough to get through, and to celebrate yesterday with a cathartic win from Caballero, who I called in and talked about yesterday. I'm not taking any credit, but I'll take a little bit. I would love to be on this ride, and I'm happy to be on it with you, Michael. Thank you for a great ninth inning call. It was magical. It was wonderful. and just go Yanks. I would love the division, but this is going to be a fun ride no matter what. Let's do it.
Well, well said. And I try to find the Yankee fans who hate root, if that's a phrase that we can, birth here. They hate root. It's like they want to find the bad things rather than celebrate the fact that all this team does every single year is that I have an opportunity to give you hope to go to a championship. And I've talked about this the last few days on the show. What other team in New York gives you that every single year? Where you go into the season thinking they have an opportunity to win a title. Now, if you look at all of the New York teams right now, there's only one other team that you can sincerely say has a chance to win a title, and that's the Knicks. I don't think the Rangers do. I don't think the Islanders do. I don't think the Devils do. We know the Giants and the Jets don't. The Nets don't. I mean, they're going to have another awful season. The Yankees, every single spring training, you don't have to twist yourself in pretzel knots to say, yeah, I could see them winning the World Series. Things go wrong. As Henry said, the last couple of years, the middle of the season is infuriating the way they play. But they always seem to right the ship. But I believe it's the younger Yankee fans that hate root. They hate root. They love the team, but they love to hate the team too. They love to pick out everything that's wrong. I mean, I see everything on social media. I see the hate rooters. I get it. They claim they're Yankee fans, and they are, and they have a good Yankee following, but all they do is point out the negatives. Today's a day that you could point out the positives. Again, about the changing narrative, especially in baseball. A lot of Met fans are very angry right now. That could all change. If they win their next 5 games and they go to the postseason and they beat the Dodgers, you are going to have to change your narrative. Just be careful. I know we live in a what have you done for me this second society. That's in everything. That's in sports. That's in business. That's in politics. And I think the birth of that is because of the internet. Because now everybody can give their opinions on a second-by-second basis. We used to have a built-in buffer. We used to have a buffer when I was growing up. There was nothing immediate. You couldn't get out your dumbness immediately. So you edited yourself just because time forced you to edit yourself. Now, there's no editing. They make a bad play in the 8th inning, you can get on social media and say how awful it was and how they'll never win. 30 years ago, your stupidity would have been edited out just by the fact that you did not have a portal to make your thoughts immediate. You didn't have it. You got it now. I don't know if that's good. Get ready for a new Monday Night Football experience with the ESPN New York Couchcast when the Jets take on the Dolphins for the Week 4 divisional matchup. Settle in on the couch and join the Altcast with all of your favorite ESPN New York personalities for instant reactions, unfiltered commentary, and behind-the-mic banter. Stream live on our YouTube page from kickoff to the final whistle. So grab your snacks and watch the game with the pros. We're all going to be there. I think it's going to be a lot of fun, and it's going to be good for you to eavesdrop. Just go to the YouTube channel, the ESPN New York YouTube channel, and you could be part of this fun way to enjoy and consume the Jets and the Dolphins Monday Night Football game. It's the ESPN New York Couchcast presented by Calandra's Bakery, Jacob's Pickles, and driven by the All-American Ford Auto Group. The #1 Ford Auto Group in the tri-state area. Shop allamericanAutoGroup.com. I heard Chris Carlin on Bart and Carlin. He's very, very nervous about what's going to be available to eat because that's a 3.5-hour endeavor, and Chris usually has 2 to 3 full meals in 2.5 to 3 hours. 2 to 3 full meals. So he wants food. Now, Calandra's Bakery, they're going to bring great stuff. Jacob's Pickles, the same deal. I don't know what All-American Ford's going to do, but maybe help us get there. So you got to tune in just to see if Chris Carlin walks out because there's not enough food for him. I did listen to our pinhead PD, John Winthrop, say, well, maybe you guys ought to bring your own snacks. Really? So that's like being invited to a party and bring your own snacks? Being invited to a wedding and bringing your own food? No. This food has to be made available to all of us. Anyways, Monday, September 29th, that's starting at 7 p.m. on the ESPN New York YouTube channel. And I do want to reiterate to every single one of you, you got to get a subscription to the ESPN New York YouTube channel. And when I say get a subscription, it's free. All you have to do is click on the tile on the ESPN New York app, and you can consume all of the shows visually, not just audio-wise, but visually. Right now, you'll see this beautiful blue blazer I have on with a pink tie. That'll be what I'm wearing for the Yankee game. That's what I'm wearing now for the show. You see the beautiful background, the pictures behind me. Be part of the party. See DiPietro and Rothenberg in the morning, and Bart and Carlin, then me, and Don, Hahn, and Rosenberg. Get the ESPN New York YouTube channel. Now, I've been hearing all year, I miss you on the simulcast on Yes. Well, I missed being on the simulcast on Yes. It was $2 billion companies that could not come up with the right number to allow us to be simulcast. Okay, so you didn't have that for 8 months. Now, you do have a chance to visually watch us. Because there's something to be said by the way somebody looks when they're saying something. And also, I'm a little competitive. So right now, this show and DiPietro and Rothenberg were kind of neck and neck in terms of who's getting the most views on the YouTube channel. I love Rick, Dave, but I've got to beat them. And the fact that, this is in the middle of the day, people are at work, that we're still like neck and neck with them for the most views on the YouTube channel. Very competitive. I'm very competitive, people. I need to win. Me, Don, and Peter, we hung around long enough and fought hard enough that we finally beat Mike Francesa. We need to win. I need to beat my own friends. I can't let them have more viewers on the YouTube channel than me. So start clicking on people. Have me win. Please. We'll come back with more right after this on the ESPN New York YouTube channel, the ESPN New York app, and, of course, more conventionally, you're listening on 880 ESPN.
Record numbers of residents are getting quality, affordable health insurance through Get Covered New Jersey. If you recently had a major life event such as marriage, pregnancy, or insurance loss, you may be eligible to enroll now. All health plans include preventive care, prescriptions, emergency services, and more. 9 in 10 enrolling get financial help, and many pay $10 a month or less. Find out if you qualify at getcovered.nj.gov. That's getcovered.nj.gov.
Things today can seem kinda unpredictable. Who knows what's around the corner, right? Well, at Total Wireless, we want to give you something to be sure about. With us, you save 50% off Metro and Cricket when you switch with one line. Guaranteed. And you get to keep the phone and number you love. Visit our Total Wireless store today. 50% savings for unlimited plans versus comparable Total Wireless unlimited phone plans based on standard plan rates. Some customers may only receive the guaranteed savings after contacting us and validating the current plan rate. Excludes promotional, discounted, and bring your phone rates. For total 5G unlimited plan or higher, auto pay required. Applied on next renewal date. Additional terms apply.
Right now at Bay Ridge Honda, your EV countdown to $7,500 in savings ends September 30th. Hurry in, the clock is ticking. You can get a Prologue Touring for $179 per month with zero down during the EV Countdown sales event. Plus, receive thousands in benefits and savings with their Bay Ridge Plus Advantage plan. Upfront pricing, total peace of mind. Visit BayRidgeHonda.com. 36 months lease, 10,000 miles per year, 3,300 loyalty or conquest, and $7,500 EV credit as down payment.
You know so much about who you are. But do you know what makes your body your body? With over 100 lab tests and insights, Function can help you know the truth. Because you know you're made of grit, wit, and a good heart. But just how healthy is that heart? You know you're made up of all the places you've called home. You know you're made of your mom's sarcasm. And now you can find out if you have her thyroid too. You know you're made of college all-nighters and 30s early-nighters, but those still don't explain your sleep issues. You know that you're made up of good meals with even better conversation. But are you actually absorbing those nutrients? A Function membership gives you a comprehensive health check with results tracked over time. Find out what you're made of at functionhealth.com.
Game time isn't just on the field. It's in your driveway, too. At Kia City of the Bronx, they're making plays with the full lineup of brand new Kias ready for you at 3505 Connor Street. Don't sit on the sidelines while your dream car drives by. Visit KiaCity.com or call 646-917-7955 and they'll get you behind the wheel of something fresh. Kia City of the Bronx. This is how the Bronx drives.
Hey Yankees fans, hit your next adventure out of the park and onto the water with City Cruises New York. Sail your way to epic skyline views, delicious dining, and premium drinks. Upgrade your game day with a dining cruise, a cocktail sail, or a night with your favorite entertainers aboard City Cruises Live. Whether you're celebrating a win or just the weekend, City Cruises is a shipload of fun. Proud partner of the New York Yankees. Book today at citycruises.com/New York.
Out here, pets are always by your side, watching the herd, running fence lines, or asleep at your feet. Pets are some of our favorite customers. When you bring them along to Tractor Supply, we'll always have a treat waiting. And with our price match guarantee, you'll always get the best price on their favorite food, toys, treats they love, and pet meds to keep them healthy. Tractor Supply, for pets out here.
Oh, could this vintage store be any cuter?
Right? And the best part? They accept Discover.
Accept Discover? In a little place like this? I don't think so, Jennifer.
Oh, yeah, huh? Discover's accepted where I like to shop. Come on, baby, get with the times.
Right, so we shouldn't get the parachute pants?
These are making a comeback. I think.
Discover is accepted at 99% of places that take credit cards nationwide. Based on the February 2025 Nielsen report.
The ESPN New York Couchcast is coming, and things are heating up.
We genuinely really get along with each other.
I don't even think Peter watches sports. You could make the argument that Rick doesn't get enough credit for being a low-key fraud. Carlin's going to be at this Couchcast, too. So we got to make sure we have a lot of cannolis.
The ESPN New York Couchcast is Monday night, September 29th. See it all unfold on the ESPN New York YouTube channel. Brought to you by the All-American Ford Auto Group, Calandra's Bakery, and Jacob's Pickles.
Welcome back to the show, everybody. Let's go back to the phones. Let's go to Johan in Orlando. Johan.
Hi, Michael K. Can you hear me?
Oh, yeah.
All right, cool. So yeah, I was just watching, and I really enjoy watching you, by the way. Great causes, so I watch you every day. But I was watching a John Boy video just recently, and he was breaking down. I don't know if you saw the George Springer at bat last night versus the Red Sox, where
looked
he
like
got
a fair
a
ball.
foul ball. Yeah. So he saw George Springer mouthing when he struck out and he went to the bench. He saw him mouthing, saying that if you want the Yankees to win, just tell me already. And that comment kind of got to me because I'm like, we've been playing good. We've had good chemistry, and I like this new additions that we've had, and just kind of speaks to like, does the league and all. It's kind of surprising to hear it from a player, and I just kind of wanted to get your thoughts on that.
Well, I think a lot of people, have Yankee on the brain. I don't know if George Springer said that. I would hate that he would think that. So what was the ultimate plan? To have the Yankees win the division by going 20-31 over a 51 game period? I mean, that is some very creative writing. Why does the league need the Yankees to win? I mean, if the Yankees play in the wild card and the league gets the Yankees for 3 games, if the Yankees win the division, they don't play in the wild card. So then the wild card round doesn't have the Yankees in it. I never buy into that stuff. I never buy into conspiracy theories because I feel that conspiracy theories cannot be pulled off with just one person in the know. There are too many people that have to be involved to pull off a conspiracy theory. And if there are that many people involved, people can't keep their mouths shut. They couldn't keep a secret on a bet. So you think that all the people that would be involved, from Rob Manfred down, to get the Yankees into the postseason or get the Yankees into the American League East title, they would all keep their mouth shut and it would never come out. If a league ever maneuvered to make sure a team got into postseason and then it ever got out, it would be the one thing that could destroy the legitimacy of a league. Baseball doesn't need the Yankees to make the playoffs. And by the way, here's a dirty little secret. You know one of the lowest rated World Series of all time? The Yankees and the Mets in 2000. Because a lot of the country hates the Yankees. A lot of the country hates the Mets. A lot of the country hates everything about New York. So getting the Mets or the Yankees into the World Series does not assure them of getting a huge rating. You know what gets a huge rating? A World Series that goes 7 games. Yankees and the Dodgers played in the World Series last year. It wasn't an overwhelming rating because it went 5 games. It didn't go 7, so you didn't have the time to build up a real storyline. That's what you need to get big ratings. So if George Springer thinks that, I'm sad that he thinks that because I don't believe in it. They made it awfully tough for the Yankees to get to this point. You'd have to get Stephen King to write some horror novel to get the Yankees to win the American League East this way. This is the way you do it. You'd have them go to the 10th inning in Baltimore and then write it that Ben Rice is going to hit a grand slam. Come on, that's silly talk. Silly talk. I think Springer is going to be in the top 5 or 6 in MVP voting this year. I have nothing against George Springer as a player. But if he in fact said that and John Boy read his lips, they're just grasping at straws for why they're collapsing. That doesn't make sense. I saw a lot of that on social media too. Obviously the league wants the Yankees to win. Get over yourself. The league doesn't love the Yankees as much as you think. You think umpires love Aaron Boone? Come on. Shop great new offers at Bay Ridge Mazda. Lease the 2025 Mazda CX-5S for as low as $239 per month or finance for 2.9% APR for 36 months. They'll take any trade-in and accept all lease returns, even if you didn't lease with them. Plus, enjoy Bay Ridge Plus benefits like ding and dent coverage, key replacement, windshield protection, and roadside assistance, all included. Visit them in Brooklyn or online at BayRidgeMazda.com. Bay Ridge Mazda, where confidence comes standard. See dealer for details.
To help those who want to be helped, but may not be able to afford it.
That's what PGA Tour winner Grayson Murray had envisioned for a foundation before he sadly took his own life at just 30 years old. His parents channeled their grief into creating the Grayson Murray Foundation, carrying out his vision to help those struggling with mental health and addiction. To donate and learn more, visit GraysonMurrayFoundation.com.
Health surprises can change your life in an instant. You've seen it happen to others, but it doesn't have to be your story. At Princeton Longevity Center, we customize actionable and proactive health plans to maximize your lifespan and take control of your health. Our Cancer Check program combines cutting-edge technology with top medical expertise to keep you ahead of potential risks. With advanced full-body imaging, genetic testing, and multi-cancer detection blood tests, we look for even the earliest signs of problems. Results are analyzed by expert physicians who craft a personalized plan to safeguard your future. You're not just a patient, you're a partner in your health journey, backed by a team committed to helping you live longer, healthier, and more vibrantly. Our programs have saved hundreds of lives and empowered countless others to take control of their health. Be proactive with your health for the ultimate peace of mind. Call 888-8000-PLC or visit PrincetonLongevityCenter.com.
Did you know you can get more with New York Lottery Plus?
You pulling my leg?
No, seriously. Just enter scratch off and draw game tickets and get more points.
Pulling a fast one?
No. And you can put your points towards chances to win gift cards, cash prizes, and more.
Is this a stunt?
No, you even get points for playing new games.
You're pulling my chain, aren't you?
No.
Pulling my finger?
What? No, man, put that thing away.
Sorry.
Introducing New York Lottery Plus. Download the app, sign up, get more. Please play responsibly. Must be 18 plus. Gambling problem? Call 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY.
If you've been injured on a construction site, then you need a lawyer who knows New York's unique labor laws. At the Parisman Firm, they have decades of experience handling construction accident cases and a proven track record of delivering huge results. Their team has already recovered nearly $1 billion for hardworking New Yorkers. From scaffold accidents to slip and falls and equipment failures, they've got your back. Call the Parisman Firm now at 718-WORKERS. That's right, 718-WORKERS, because your case is their cause. Get the justice you deserve today.
Put it in the box. This is your radio home for New York Mets baseball. 880 ESPN, WHSQ, and WCBS FM HD2, New York.
We are proud to serve our country, to serve our local communities, to wear the uniform, to be a soldier, to serve abroad when and where duty calls. We are ready to stand with our brothers and sisters to defend, to serve, to fight. We're always ready. We're always there. We are the New York Army National Guard.
Sponsored by the New York Army National Guard.
This is Joe Budden. You and I make decisions every day, but on Prize Picks, being right can get you paid. So I'm here to make sure you don't miss any of the daily fantasy action this football season with Prize Picks, where it's good to be right.
Download the Prize Picks app today and use code PLAYNOW to get $50 in site credits after you play your first $5. That's code PLAYNOW to get $50 in site credits after you play your first $5. Prize Picks. It's good to be right. Must be present in certain states. Visit prizepicks.com for restrictions and details.
A SoFi personal loan is here to help you achieve something once thought impossible, overcoming high-interest credit card debt. Walk the tightrope of your finances with one low, fixed-rate monthly payment, no fees required, and as soon as the same-day funding. That's right. Pull off your own debt-defying stunt with a SoFi personal loan. Visit SoFi.com/trick to learn more. Loans originated by SoFi Bank, N.A., member FDIC. Terms and conditions apply. NMLS 696891.
Welcome back to the show, everybody. So, Jaxson Dart is going to be the starter for the rest of the year, according to Brian Dable. We opened the show with that. Dable met with the media today, and the backup is going to be Russell Wilson. Jets and the Dolphins will be playing on Monday Night Football. We'll have the couch cast for that. Yesterday was the media day for the Knicks and the Nets, and one thing came out of the Knicks, and it was really the overriding thing that came out was that the Knicks are going to push the pace, and they're going to take the ball, for the most part, out of the hands of Jalen Brunson so it doesn't wear down all the time with iso ball. And during the Summer League games, Jim Boeheim was quoted as saying, but that's what Jalen Brunson does. That's his strength. So if you're going to get into a transition game, you're taking the best of what Jalen Brunson does and taking it away. So how's that going to work? They keep saying, well, they're going to run for what? So that Mikal Bridges could be more involved in the offense and OG Anunoby could be more involved in the offense? Does that make them a better team? Because with the iso ball that they use with Jalen Brunson, they did get to the Eastern Conference Finals. Now, you notice that yesterday Mike Brown kept accentuating he's going to have a 9.5 to 10-man rotation. So that's going to get all the minutes police off his back. Probably going to get the front office off his back. That they wanted Thibodeau to play more people and a deeper bench. Now, what they've done, though, is given Mike Brown a much deeper bench by the people they brought in. Thibodeau didn't use his bench. You know why? It wasn't that great. He didn't have a great bench. So he went with his best players. How'd it work out? He got to the Eastern Conference Finals. So I said in the previous hour, we have legitimate hope that the Knicks could go to the finals this year. If they don't go as far as they did last year, then firing Thibodeau was a bad idea, whether the players wanted it or not. So when Mike Brown was asked about pressure this year, he goes, oh, I love pressure. That means there's high expectations. Well, Mike, there are extraordinarily high expectations. You have to at least get as far, preferably farther, than what your predecessor did. And the lane is open for you. There's no Halliburton. There's no Tatum. There's no Damian Lillard. None of it. It's all open for you. You got to beat Cleveland. You got to get past Cleveland. You should be able to do that. But I keep coming back to them saying they're changing the way they play. When the best player on your team plays a certain way and you're going to get away from that. Let's see how it works out. Bold strategy, Cotton. And if I'm Jalen Brunson, and I wonder how hard Jalen Brunson actually fought the Knicks front office that Thibodeau keeps his job. Now, he said all the right things yesterday, but I wonder, Jalen Brunson is the face of your franchise. If he went into Leon Rose and if he went into James Dolan and said, you can't fire the coach, would they have still fired the coach? Or maybe he just went along with it like it wasn't his business to select the coach. But I said this when he accepted all that less money to help the Knicks out. I said, you better watch out because when it's time for this contract to be renewed at a much bigger number because you're gambling on that, the people in charge might be different. You might be a different player. They might run things differently where it doesn't accentuate your greatness. And that's what I'm seeing right now. In order to get the most out of Mikal Bridges and OG Anunoby, we're going to take away the greatness, at least for 3 quarters, of Jalen Brunson so he doesn't wear down. By the way, the guy never wore down. Never wore down. He's in tremendous shape. Another question I have coming off Knicks Media Day yesterday. Josh Hart's finger is still bothering him. Well, why didn't he have surgery during the offseason? They talk about, well, he might have surgery now. He might miss a while if he does that. He wants to play through the pain. Why not have the surgery during the offseason? It bothered him all last year. So what was your therapy? Hoping? Wishing that it would get better? He's going to play with a splint? Did you see the way he shot 3-pointers last year? Dreadful. That was a defensive proposition of all the teams they faced in the playoffs. Let's give Josh Hart wide open threes. And he either didn't take them or clanked them off the rim. So now you're going to have him playing with a splint on his hand. Why wasn't that addressed during the offseason? I'd love to know. Oh, we thought it was going to get better. You thought it was going to get better, but it didn't. It didn't. And do you want him now to miss time during the season? Does that make sense? So I've got some questions about this Knicks team. You're going to take the greatness of your best player and move away from that so that you could build up what you hope is the greatness of Anunoby and Bridges. Deep down, I wonder how Brunson feels because he's saying all the right things. Well, obviously, I want to. All I want to do is win. Well, we'll see. You almost won playing the way they played last year, didn't you? You almost won. Now, Hart, according to several reports, did have some kind of procedure in the offseason. We don't know what that procedure was. And then he supposedly re-aggravated it. So the procedure wasn't effective. Because they're talking about having surgery now. So they assiduously used the word procedure and not surgery. But it didn't work. So if it doesn't work, it's not the right thing. I need that guy. I need that guy playing. 1-800-919-3776. Yankees clinch a postseason berth yesterday. Walk-off hit by Jose Caballero. The tying run scored on a wild pitch on a walk to Cody Bellinger. Anthony Volpe crossed the plate. By the way, and I said this yesterday, Volpe would be my shortstop in the postseason. Got 2 more hits yesterday, led off that 9th inning with a hit, and that led to the Yankees coming back and clinching the postseason berth and pulling to within 1 of the Toronto Blue Jays. Now, one question I do have about yesterday. So the White Sox put in Michael A. Taylor in center field in the 9th inning, which is a smart move by Will Venable because he's a great center fielder. There's a looper into center field. There's 2 men out. So the runners are moving on contact. Why aren't you laying out to try to catch that ball? Why? Does that make any sense? So you play it on a hop, you unleash a throw that actually hopped for the first time on the dirt of the infield when you were 10 feet behind the dirt. You came in as a defensive replacement and you don't sell out to make that catch? That's the only way the game goes in extra innings. Why are you laying back and playing on a hop? You lay out to get the ball, and if you don't make the play, the game's over anyway. The ball gets by you, the game's over anyway. Judge is going to score because he's moving with 2 outs. Sometimes you watch a team play, right? And you realize why they are as bad as they are. Because there's only one move on that play. Full body dive forward to make the catch. Instead, you lay back to get the throw when you don't have a good arm. That was an odd ending. Set off a big celebration for the Yankees. Good for them. Now they want to celebrate winning the American League East. Is that possible? Yeah, it's possible. The Blue Jays have 2 more games with the Red Sox. Garrett Crochet starting tonight. And then they have 3 games against Tampa Bay. The Yankees, we know, have 2 more games against the White Sox. Max Fried starts tonight. And then 3 against the Orioles. So the Yankees could win out. And they could lose all 5 too. But if they win out, do you think that over the next 5 games, if the Yankees win out, then the Blue Jays have to, let's see. If they win out, the Yankees would be down by 1. Do you think the Blue Jays can lose 2 of the next 5? That's all it comes down to. If the Yankees win out and the Blue Jays go 3-2, the Yankees win the American League East. Think about that. Think about how far back they were. How the Blue Jays embarrassed them in Toronto. That was the low point of the season for me. That was when Jamie Campbell of TSN took out the broom, and that started the whole social media thing with me, where I was quoted as saying, if you look at the run differential, the Pythagorean theorem would tell you that the Blue Jays are not a first-place team. Not saying that they weren't a first-place team, but the numbers would indicate they're overplaying their numbers. They're outplaying their numbers. Now with injuries, they've lost Bo Bichette. You know, the Chris Bassett has gone down. Jose Barrios has gone into the bullpen. They're having some issues. They've had a great season so far. So, again, if the Yankees win out, which is not ridiculous, the Blue Jays have to win 4 games in order to win the East. If they win 3 of the 5 remaining games, then the Yankees win the American League East. Which, if you told me in July, I would have said you're out of your mind. You're out of your mind. Let's go to Dave in Westchester. Dave.
Hey, how you doing, Michael?
How you
One
doing?
of my friends wanted me to call in and just ask you this because they're afraid to call in. Yeah, I think you got it wrong. The 20 and 25-year-olds and 27-year-olds, they're going to get on social media because that's the day and age they grew up in.
Mm-hmm.
The people that are 62 of my age, all my friends, all of the New York area, I'm being honest with you. You can say it all you want. They don't care at the beginning of the year, do we have a chance? Do we have a chance? You ran a whole show on, is Judge going to get the MVP or is Raleigh going to get the MVP? Nobody cares who's 62 years old. They care about one thing. You don't believe this. It's the truth. Are we going to win the World Series or not? That's the only thing that's going to make us happy. We don't care if Judge gets MVP 15 years in a row. If we don't win the World Series, it's a disaster. Derek Jeter's right, and so is George Steinbrenner. They're right. And no 60-year-old is going to think differently. I don't care how many people call up the station, okay, which you have a great show. I believe a lot of things you say, but I don't believe that you think that it's a great season. If they make the World Series, it's a great season.
Well, let me ask you a question, Dave. If they go to the World Series and they lose again,
if they lose.
and they lose again, it's a disaster.
A disaster for me. Disaster for anybody who's 60 years old.
You know what, Dave? I feel sorry for you and your friends that you can't enjoy a sports season unless you win a championship. So that means that in the world, I mean, there's only one team in each league that ends up lifting the trophy. Everything else is a disaster. I think that's a sad commentary. I really do. And I challenge you on the 62-year-old thing. Because I think you're wrong. I think you have a certain mindset. And I'm going to tell you why I think you have a certain mindset. Because if you are a man or a woman of a certain age, so I'm 64, you're 62, you lived through Horace Clark. You lived through Jerry Kenny. You lived through Gene Michael as a player. You lived through Celerino Sanchez. You lived through all of that and Ron Woods in the outfield. And Fritz Peterson and Mike Kekich. So you should actually understand that things could be a lot worse than going to the World Series and losing. To say that going to the World Series and losing is a disaster, that's a commentary on your mindset. Dave, I'm sorry. Listen, do I believe that you feel that way? Yeah, I do. But I think that's a reflection on you and your friends that you're talking about. A disaster? You don't care if Aaron Judge wins the MVP. So you don't care about the process, do you? I remember something that Derek Jeter's dad told me. He said, the one thing I worry about with my son is that he doesn't appreciate the journey. Maybe one day he will. You, Dave, don't appreciate the journey. You don't appreciate the great things that could happen during the season and the bad things that happen during the season that make the ebb and flow of the season. You're just waiting for the end. So then my advice to you, Dave, don't tune in. Don't even watch a game. Don't enjoy the season at all until they get to a World Series. And if they don't, then you missed out on an entire season. If you can't elicit any joy out of Aaron Judge winning an MVP, I did a whole show on the MVP. No, almost everybody in the world is debating whether Judge or Raleigh's going to be the MVP. It's all part of the journey. If the only thing that you care about is the destination, I can't talk you out of it, but I can tell you I think you're wrong. I think you're missing out on all the great things in sports. There are high points and there are low points. There are ebbs and there are flows. There are peaks and there are valleys. That's the beauty of sports. You get to enjoy that. And in baseball, you essentially get to enjoy that every single day. So you don't care that Judge hit 62 home runs because they haven't won a championship. Dave, that's a reflection on you, and that's a reflection on your personality. I can't help you. I can't say you're wrong because it's what you choose to accentuate. I personally think I wouldn't live like that. Do I think that last year was a disappointment when the Yankees lost in Game 5 of the World Series? Absolutely a disappointment. Do I believe it was a failure of a season? I think that's a joke, and I think that Derek Jeter and Aaron Judge have been party to that by parroting the words of George Steinbrenner, who said it when the sport was different and ingrained it into the mind of Jeter, who then passed it along to Judge. I think that's a terrible message for them to send to the fan base. And you have not heard anybody in the Yankee front office, including the owner of the team, Hal Steinbrenner, ever utter the phrase that George uttered. World Series or bust. Everything else is a failure. Because that's silly thinking now in 2025. All the things you have to go through to get to the World Series, all the different series, all the wild card entrants that could all of a sudden get hot at the right time and take your chance away. Yankees didn't have to deal with that in 77 and 78. And they had to deal with it in 96 and 98, 99 and 2000. And then when they went to the World Series, they didn't have to deal with all of the different 3 wild cards. In 95, they were the first wild card, and there was just one wild card. And you're going to say that it's a disaster if they don't win a World Series? You didn't enjoy the season at all. You didn't enjoy the 30-30 of Jazz Chisholm. You didn't enjoy the season of Cody Bellinger. You didn't enjoy what could be a 50-home run season. You didn't enjoy it. You didn't enjoy Max Fried's 18 wins and Carlos Rodon's 17. You didn't enjoy it. I feel sad. I feel sorry for you. I really do. I feel sorry for you. John in Bethlehem. John.
Hey, Michael. How are you?
Good. How you doing?
Good. I couldn't agree more. I think I'm the anti-Dave. I'm 62. I was actually calling in to say I remember exactly the Elliot Maddox thing you talked about because Mercer was my favorite player. And by the way, Elliot Maddox from my hometown, Union, New Jersey. I think the folks who, if you don't put these things in perspective, you are really missing out. So you have to enjoy. First of all, it's sports. We all know people are going to win and lose. I think the folks who think the way Dave does are their perspective is off. They just don't have. I don't want to look. Dave has every right to think the way he does, and his friends do as well. But if you don't enjoy the day-to-day of a baseball season, like a book. You flip the page every day, 162 times to get where you need to be, and then beyond that into the postseason. If you lose, it's disappointing. It's not a disaster. There's next year.
There's always next year, and I understand there are some people that won't live to next year. I get that. But to say that it's a colossal failure, and I really believe the messaging should change from a guy like Judge. Getting to the World Series is a big deal. Obviously, you want to win, and you lost in 5 games, and you played terribly in the 5th inning, and that was bad. But to say the whole season was a failure, what a joke. How's it a failure?
I agree 100%. And by the way, I wanted to make one more point. Your comment about Caballero's hit last night, from the TV angle, I'm watching with my wife, and I said, oh, he's got that. I thought the way he was loping after the ball, I thought it was an easy out. I was actually shocked that it hit the ground.
And if you heard the tone of my voice, John, you could tell I was shocked. I thought the catch was going to be made.
It looked like an easy E8. I was stunned, but I was happy. So good for you. I like the way you're answering the Daves of the world, because the folks, and by the way, I honestly do, I disagree again with him. I think it is definitely generational. Folks who are of our age understand patience, understand the day-to-day of it, and that you can't judge these things in June and July. It doesn't make any. I was annoyed as anybody at them in July. I'm a fan of them, and I always will be. And I know that I'm going to just stick by them. If they lose in the first round, I'm going to be disappointed. If they lose in the 7th game of the World Series, I'm going to be disappointed. But I get to watch it. They are my team. I get to enjoy it. What else can you ask for?
That's what I don't get about most people. And when Dave said his friends are afraid to call in, well, because they know. I mean, if you're afraid to call in, you know that you can't defend your position. Well, listen, I'm very accommodating to all different opinions. And if I think you're wrong, we'll debate about it. I'm not going to shout you down. But they're afraid to call in because they know that their position is kind of indefensible. And you can't tell me that there are a vast number of 60-year-olds that feel like this. I believe it's more young people. Because if you live through the era of Yankee baseball that we all lived through, and you don't understand that getting the postseason every single year is kind of a neat thing, I don't know what to tell you. I really don't know what to tell you. Hey, FanDuel is getting you ready for kickoff with an offer that you don't want to miss. New customers can bet just $5 and get $300 in bonus bets if you win. Pick a bet $5, and if it wins, you'll unlock $300 in bonus bets to use all across the app. You could build parlays, bet player props, ride the live lines, whatever your style. FanDuel has you covered. Visit FanDuel.com/K to download the FanDuel app today and get started. 21 plus and physically present in New York. First online real money wager only. $5 first deposit required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets, which expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. For help with the gambling problem, call 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY. That's 467-369.
Wednesday on Don, Hahn, and Rosenberg. The Yankees clinched a playoff spot. Can they win the division?
We're going to walk into the playoffs with a really good team, capable of beating you a lot of different ways.
The Mets are back in the final wild card spot. Can they hold it?
It comes down to winning. We put ourselves in this position. We got to find a way to get out of it.
Don, Hahn, and Rosenberg today at 3 on 880 ESPN and the ESPN New York app, and streaming live on the ESPN New York YouTube channel.
Game time isn't just on the field. It's in your driveway, too. At Kia City of the Bronx, they're making plays with the full lineup of brand new Kias ready for you at 3505 Connor Street. Don't sit on the sidelines while your dream car drives by. Visit KiaCity.com or call 646-917-7955, and they'll get you behind the wheel of something fresh. Kia City of the Bronx. This is how the Bronx drives.
Well, to hit a home run, everything's got to line up perfectly, just like when you find the person you want to marry. When it's time to propose, well, do what I did. Visit the engagement experts at London Jewelers. From their beautiful 2 by London collection to custom designs for any budget, they make finding the perfect ring easy. Visit London Jewelers at any of their 6 locations and tell them I sent you for the Michael K. treatment. London Jewelers, getting it just right.
This is an ad by BetterHelp. We all turn to some funny places for support, but not everyone is a therapist. Not everyone is the one. Find your right match with BetterHelp. BetterHelp does the initial matching work for you so you can focus on your therapy goals. A short questionnaire helps identify your needs and preferences, and their 10-plus years of experience and industry-leading match fulfillment rate means they typically get it right the first time. If you aren't happy with your match, switch to a different therapist at any time from their tailored recs. You can join a session with a therapist at the click of a button, helping you fit therapy into your busy life. Plus, switch therapists at any time. As the largest online therapy provider in the world, BetterHelp can provide access to mental health professionals with a diverse variety of expertise. Find the one with BetterHelp. Our listeners get 10% off their first month at betterhelp.com/timeout. That's betterhelp.com/timeout.
At Garden City Mazda, discover more about what moves you.
Our fall kickoff savings start now. Don't miss out.
Our inventory of new and Mazda certified pre-owned vehicles is unmatched in New York.
Embrace every unexpected turn with the new 2025 Mazda lineup. Refined performance. Spacious interiors to fit your life. Elevate your driving experience.
Garden City Mazda. Exhilaration at every turn, exceptional in every way.
At Uline, they know going the extra mile takes hard work. For companies pushing to go further, Uline will go the distance with you. 24/7, they answer the phone to get you the shipping and industrial supplies you need. Business can move fast. Unexpected large orders, adverse weather, new safety guidelines, and changing economic trends. Uline works hard keeping 41,000 items ready to ship, minimizing detours on your way to the extra mile. Visit uline.com.
What are you doing? Don't do New York City dirty.
New York City's my heart, my soul. I would never do this place dirty, because everything I want is in this city.
Why would you want to dirty somewhere that you live?
This is your home. You don't throw papers out the window, flick cigarette butts.
It's disrespectful. Dispose of it the correct way.
I would never put trash on the ground. That's why we got trash cans. Don't do New York City dirty. Trash your trash.
A message from the Sanitation Foundation.
One by one, we keep this city clean, man. Let's get it.
Record numbers of residents are getting quality, affordable health insurance through Get Covered New Jersey. If you recently had a major life event such as marriage, pregnancy, or insurance loss, you may be eligible to enroll now. All health plans include preventive care, prescriptions, emergency services, and more. 9 in 10 enrolling get financial help, and many pay $10 a month or less. Find out if you qualify at getcovered.nj.gov. That's getcovered.nj.gov.
What is it that makes the all-new Hyundai Palisade hybrid an incredible SUV? Is it the spacious interior that's comfy for the whole crew? Or the capability to go off-road? Maybe it's up to 600-plus miles of range. Is it the driver behind the wheel? What if it's all of that and more? What is it then? The all-new Hyundai Palisade Hybrid, so much more than just another SUV. Visit HyundaiUSA.com or call 562-314-4603 for more details. That's 562-314-4603.
From kickoff to cash out, ESPN Bet has the tools you need to score more on game days. Bet smarter with stats at your fingertips. Get personalized parlays built just for you. And with your fantasy team synced right in the app, you can back your squad. Right now, new customers get $100 in bonus bets when you bet $10. Sign up with promo code USL to get started. Must be 21 plus. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Terms and conditions apply. See app for details. Offer not available in New York.
Welcome back, everybody. Hey, ESPN New York is now live like never before, streaming on YouTube. Your favorite shows, DiPietro and Rothenberg, Bart and Carlin, this show, The Michael K. Show, and Don Hahn and Rosenberg with live video every weekday. Watch, chat, and join the conversation only on YouTube. Subscribe to ESPN New York on YouTube today and never miss a moment. Now, I've gotten a couple people reaching out on social media, and I do want to make sure that you know this. We've been promoting for the last week or so that I would be doing the show from Rockefeller Center tomorrow. That is not happening. So do not go out of your way if you were going to come say hello. I appreciate that, but that for several reasons is not happening tomorrow. We'll have a show, as we always do, and it's going to be great. We will talk some Ryder Cup. We'll have on Dan Orlovsky and also the great Chris Sims. We'll talk about the big decision by the Giants to go with Jaxson Dart. but it will not be a remote show. So please make note of that. Do not go to Rockefeller Center tomorrow. I mean, you could go. It's lovely. But don't go there just to see me because I will not be there. We will not be doing our show from Rock Center tomorrow. 1-800-919-3776. Let's go to Sam in Cleveland. Sam.
Hello, Michael K. How are you doing today?
I'm great, Sam. How you doing?
Doing very well, given how everything went last night for the Yankees. So let's see. I want to get your opinion on a couple hypothetical scenarios that would be, the Yankees' path to at least like the ALCS this year. What you think would be better for them, matchup-wise?
Let's go.
And then I'll also tell you what I think. So. If it were to stay as is, and this is picturing that, we end up just still staying with that 1 seed in the wild card, would you rather have to go through Boston and then Toronto to at least then get to the ALCS, or would you rather go through Cleveland and then through Toronto, or maybe go through Cleveland and then Seattle? And
you also have to throw the Tigers in there too, because the Tigers could pass
or
Boston.
the Tigers, because who knows what's going to happen this week.
Mm-hmm.
If it were to stay as is, I think I might prefer having to go through Boston and then Toronto, and I'll tell you why. So look, I grew up in the tri-state area. I'm from there. I'm out here in Cleveland now. Since I've moved here, I've watched them a good bit. They're making me a little bit nervous. What they have going on right now is unprecedented. They're kind of like that one team every year at the end of the year that just goes on this absurd run, gets ridiculously hot, upsets some people. Like, look at what the Mets did last year and what the Tigers did last year. And plus the way that they play, they're cockroaches. They won't die. They won't really hit the long ball. They just hit bunts and infield singles and bloop singles and a splash of what I would assume now is like witchcraft, that they're still alive.
Well, it's because of pitching. But, I mean, if you're going to ask me, I'd rather play the Guardians than the Red Sox.
Just because of...
Because the Guardians don't score a lot of runs. So all you have to do is you've got to get through the starters, and you've got to get through those starters and then hopefully get to the bullpen. The bullpen has done a really good job despite losing Clase, and they've got some good pieces out there. But the Yankees proved last year when they were more loaded than they are now, they beat the Guardians in the ALCS to get to the World Series. So here in my pecking order, if I'm the Yankees, and I thought that Boone said something smart yesterday, be careful what you wish for. I want to avoid one team early. I'll take them on in the ALCS. I don't want to take on Seattle's pitching because there's certain magic to what they're doing now, and they can score too. So I want them in a best of 7. So if they have to face Toronto, they have to face Toronto. If they have to face the Red Sox in the wild card, that worries me a little because you got Crochet. You got to face the Tigers. That worries me because you got Skubal. Remember, all you have to do is win 2 games. The Guardians have, they've been going with a 6-man rotation for about a month now. And Carl Willis is a great pitching coach. But give me Cleveland instead of Detroit or Boston. I'll take that. I really would take that. And that's no disrespect to Cleveland at all because they've been really good for a long time. And the amount of, they've made up 10.5 games since September 1st. It will be the greatest collapse in baseball history. Remember, when the Yankees in 78, it was 13 games in the middle of August. This is 10.5 games on September 1st. So, yeah, if I'm the Yankees, I take on anybody, and I'd like to save Seattle for last. Let's go to Tyler in Raleigh. Tyler.
Yes, hi. Thanks for taking the call.
You got it. What's up?
Yeah, so I've been thinking more about the prospect of, whether we want to play the wild card round or get
Or what?
That, you know, the Yankees and Dodgers both had the bye last year, and they made
Right.
the World Series, so it is beneficial. But looking at the way the team plays right now, I just think we're on such a hot streak. We're rolling through teams right now that I'd be really concerned about taking the several days off, and then, you know, how does that plan out? And then, you know, who are we going to get with some time off in that first round? Is it going to be, you know, if we're taking the division, then it might be the Jays, and I don't want to play the Blue Jays, who are really good at manufacturing runs with some time off. And so I just wanted your thought. I mean, I think you're going to say that you'd rather have the time off, but I'm just really concerned about that.
Yeah, but I mean, Tyler, wouldn't you be concerned about having to play a best of 3 where your whole season could go away with 2 bad games? I need a longer series, because I think the longer a series is, the better a team is manifests itself. Anything could happen in a short series. I truly believe that if you took whoever you think the best team in baseball is, Milwaukee, Philly, Yankees, Dodgers, whatever, and you put the Rockies against them for a 3-game series, you could actually lose that series. So 100 times out of 100 times, I'll take the bye. I mean, the nonsense that I hear, well, you know what, you sit around and do nothing. Well, then be better at it. Play real games. Have your 4th and 5th starters pitch real games. Choose up sides. Bring up minor leaguers. Make sure they don't get stale. But there's no way would I rather play a best of 3 where anything could go wrong. You run into one hot pitcher, you're 1 win away then from losing your entire season. No way. That's why the Yankees should not be resting on their laurels. That's why the Yankees should go all out to win the next 5 games, to put all the pressure on Toronto. I want to win the East. I mean, I don't think there's a compelling argument out there. You say they're playing really hot. You know what? Maybe they're just a good team, and a good team should be able to play whether or not they have 3 or 4 days off or not. You want to avoid that wild card at all costs. All costs. Let's go to Mike in Georgia.
How's it going, Mike? Okay.
What's going on, Mikey?
Hey, so I think that the division's going to be decided in the next 2 games. And then we're pretty set. Because the Red Sox are going to be the best team to beat Toronto. After that, it's kind of meh. But I think the Yankees are going well because we're hot right now and we're playing teams that aren't playing for anything. And that was proven last night when he didn't dive for that ball in center field. They're not playing for nothing. They have their season's over. They're all done. They just want to get home to their families. And
no, I think the Yankees are set up to win their 5 games. The Blue Jays have 2 more games against the Red Sox, and tonight Garrett Crochet's on the mound for the Red Sox. And then the 3rd game on Thursday, and then they play Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay never rolls over. They just don't. They're out of it, but Tampa Bay will never, ever roll over. So that's a tough 5-game stretch. And when you say it could be decided in the next 2 games, you're right. It could be. But then you still have to win your games against the Orioles, too. I say Yankees want to beat the Blue Jays, put the pressure on them, win all 5 games. Let's see if the Blue Jays could win 4. That's what they have to do. They'd have to win 4 of their last 5 to hold off the Yankees if the Yankees won all 5. Because even the Yankees gain a game, the Blue Jays get in because of the head-to-head. But the Yankees then make it easier if they lose a couple of games. Then you're asking Toronto to lose all their games. So by winning 5 in a row, even if Toronto goes 4-1, which is excellent baseball, or 3-2, then the Yankees are in. 4-1 doesn't get it done. 4-1 it'll be a tie, and the Yankees would end up being the wild card. But 3-2, which is also pretty good, you're playing 600 ball, you would lose your division. You would lose your division. Bob in Sacramento. Bob.
Hey, Michael. 13th time, long time.
Oh, thank you, Bob.
Great seeing you on YouTube, man. This is a real treat for me. At the beginning of your show, you said you see the Yankees now kind of, being a little gutty at the end of games and pulling games out, whereas earlier in the season, they lost a lot of one-run games. I'm thinking that you have different players now on this team compared to last year, where it was just Soto, Judge, and Giancarlo also. But you have a guy. You have all these new guys, and I think that these men know how to play baseball. Especially, say I'm old and I'm losing names, but these guys just know how to play baseball, and especially Rice. Man. He is. Ben Rice is a real find. He hits the ball hard, but I wish he could spray it a little more to the left.
Well, he did yesterday. And I think, Joe Girardi said something, Bob, the other day, that in order for a team to win a championship, you have to have a contribution from somebody that you didn't think was going to contribute at that such level. And I think Ben Rice is that guy. Ben Rice is that guy. Will Warren's another guy who has stepped up. Cam Schlittler has stepped up. I'm sure that there were no plans for those guys to be this important. I mean, Ben Rice kind of announced himself in spring training where he came in unbelievable shape and was hitting the ball as hard as anybody. But I think he's been more than they could have hoped for. So that could be the guy that is doing more than you could ever have expected him to do. But before everybody gets giddy because of the celebration, Yankees still have problems on the bases. Yesterday, Jazz got picked off in a big spot. Those are things that worry you. I think in the last month and a half of the season, Yankees have more errors than anybody else, so they've been committing some errors as well. They've been a little bit more aggressive on the bases, which I understand, but they have not been playing perfect. So let's not put the narrative out there that they're a perfect team right now. They're not a perfect team. But that's been the fun part of it because they persevered through some of the mistakes that they've made. Alex in Midtown. Alex.
Hey, Michael.
Hello, Alex.
Only 5 days, only 5 games left of the season means only 5 games left on yes. And
that's right.
It's bittersweet. I can't wait for the playoffs, but you guys are such a big part of my household, and I'm definitely going to miss watching the games on yes. So thanks for a great season, as always.
But we will have the pre- and post game, as you said, for every game.
Oh, of course. Always, till the end. Just wanted to get your thoughts. How do you think concerned should we be about Stanton's performance right now? He looks lost at the plate, and I know playoff G is a beast, and he can flip a switch and lock in, but I feel like previous years he's had pretty good Septembers going into the postseason. He doesn't look good right now.
No, but I think that Alex is unfortunately life with Giancarlo Stanton. He's a guy who's going to have unbelievably hot stretches, and then he's a guy who's going to struggle. And right now he's in struggles where he's waving at pitches, he's late, he's caught between, he's late on fastballs up in the zone, he's chasing a little bit. When he came back, he looked locked in like I'd never seen him other than playoff Stanton, where he was on everything, he was controlling the strike zone. I can't get that concerned about it because that's the story of Stanton. Because if he stayed hot and healthy, he'd win MVPs, like he did the year before the Yankees got him. That was a year that he stayed hot and he stayed healthy. I think he locks in differently during the postseason. He really does. So I wouldn't worry about how he looks right now because he doesn't look great right now. And neither does Bellinger. Bellinger doesn't look great right now either. But, it's a long season, and you're going to have some of these moments. You hope that they snap out of it when it comes to, playoff baseball. Hey, golf's greatest rivalry tees off at Bethpage Black. And the guys are bringing you all the action, energy, and passion straight from the course. Don't miss DiPietro and Rothenberg this Friday morning, only on ESPN New York. It's brought to you by Michelob Ultra. No matter what you're playing for, make it superior with Michelob Ultra. 2.6 carbs, 95 calories, a superior taste worth playing for. The official beer sponsor of the Ryder Cup. When we come back, I'm going to explain to you why I am such a delightful human being, where I could be a troll, and I choose not to, because I'm a delight. Now, I know you're going to stay through the commercial because you want to hear what this big-headed freak has to say. But I've thought about this a lot, because I could really be meaner than I am. I don't think I'm mean at all. I could really put on an act on this show where I would really, really grate on people. But I'm going to explain, without grating on people, how I don't grate on people. Because yesterday was a prime example where negative Caster, vicious Caster, could have reared his ugly long head, and he didn't. Stay tuned for this. Coming up next, right here on 880 ESPN.
Hey Yankees fans, hit your next adventure out of the park and onto the water with City Cruises New York. Sail your way to epic skyline views, delicious dining, and premium drinks. Upgrade your game day with a dining cruise, a cocktail sail, or a night with your favorite entertainers aboard City Cruises Live. Whether you're celebrating a win or just the weekend, City Cruises is a shipload of fun. Proud partner of the New York Yankees. Book today at citycruises.com/New York.
Shop great new offers at Bay Ridge Mazda. Lease the 2025 Mazda CX-5S for as low as $239 per month or finance for 2.9% APR for 36 months. They will take any trade-in and accept all lease returns, even if you didn't lease with them. Plus, enjoy Bay Ridge Plus benefits like ding and dent coverage, key replacement, windshield protection, and roadside assistance, all included. Visit them in Brooklyn or online at BayRidgeMazda.com. Bay Ridge Mazda, where confidence comes standard. See dealer for details.
Good Karma Brands is proud to be an equal opportunity employer. Our policy is to provide equal opportunity employment, development, and advancement to all current and potential teammates. If you are an organization that maintains a job bank, provides employment information, or gives job referrals, you may request to be placed on the station's mailing list for future career opportunities. To learn more about careers at Good Karma Brands, please email careers@goodkarmabrands.com.
Morning, Zoe. Got donuts.
Jeff Bridges, why are you still living above our garage?
Well, I dig the mattress, and I want to be in a T-Mobile commercial like you. Teach me, Saldana.
Oh, no, I'm not really prepared. I couldn't possibly. At T-Mobile, get the new iPhone 17 Pro. On them, it's designed to be the most powerful iPhone yet and has the ultimate pro camera system.
Wow, impressive. Let me try. T-Mobile is the best place to get iPhone 17 Pro because they've got the best network.
Nice, Jeffrey.
You heard them. T-Mobile is the best place to get the new iPhone 17 Pro on us with eligible trade-in in any condition.
So, what are we having for lunch?
Dude, my work here is done.
The 24 monthly bill credits on experience beyond for well-qualified customers plus tax and $35 device connection charge. Credits end and balance due if you pay off earlier. Cancel. Finance agreement iPhone 17 Pro 256 gigs, $1,099.99 and new line minimum $100 plus a month plan with auto pay plus taxes and fees required. Best mobile network in the U.S. based on analysis by Oak Cliff Speed Test Intelligence data 1H2025. Visit T-Mobile.com.
When it comes to restoring cars, Diego's got skills. And with Total Wireless in his corner, the whole world sees them. With the dual camera system on his new iPhone 13, he can take amazing car photos and post them on the fly with super fast 5G, and even turn this hobby into a full-time gig. His claim to fame? Claiming iPhone 13 with 5G on us. Get iPhone 13 with 5G on us when you switch to the Total 5G or 5G Plus Unlimited 3-month plan. Total Wireless, in your corner. For limited time while supplies last. Valid in store. Device taxes and fees may apply. Requires port in and ID verification. Restrictions apply.
We are moving now.
Electric bikes are everywhere. They are quiet and very fast. Teens ride them on the roads, in bike lanes, but also in places they should not be, like sidewalks and parks.
Look out!
When you ride, wear a helmet. Don't speed. Watch out for pedestrians and cars. New York State and your community have specific rules for electric bikes. Follow them. Go to trafficsafety.ny.gov for more info. A message brought to you by the Governor's Traffic Safety Committee.
This college football moment is brought to you by ServPro.
College football teams have moments they recovered from and made it like it never even happened. Like on September 24, 2016, when Tulsa found themselves down 31-0 to Fresno State. With 10 minutes left in the second quarter, Tulsa fought back to tie the game at 41. And then won 48-41 in double overtime.
ServPro. Like it never even happened.
Life insurance. Why are you putting it off? Can't afford it? Too much hassle? Think you don't need it? There's lots of excuses for putting off life insurance. But if you weren't there, who would pay the mortgage and other bills? With Ethos, you could be covered in 10 minutes and boom, family protected. Ethos. Fast and easy online term life insurance. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at ethos.com/play. That's ethos.com/play.
The ESPN New York Couchcast is coming, and things are heating up.
We genuinely really get along with each other.
I don't even think Peter watches sports. You could make the argument that Rick doesn't get enough credit for being a low-key fraud.
Carlin's going to be at this Couchcast, too, so we got to make sure we have a lot of cannolis.
The ESPN New York Couchcast is Monday night, September 29th. See it all unfold on the ESPN New York YouTube channel. Brought to you by the All-American Ford Auto Group, Calandra's Bakery, and Jacob's Pickles.
All right, so we've talked about this a lot. I think we did it earlier in the week as well, probably on Monday. So every time Juan Soto does something great and there's a picture of him in the dugout celebrating, I'll get, the trolls, that subsection of Met fans, not all Met fans, the subsection that are trolls. And they will at me on Twitter and go, doesn't look so glum, does he? And I really do laugh at it because I think it's sad, because at no time did I ever say he was going to be glum forever, that he was glum when they came in the Yankees. Again, too much. It's over and over and over again. You guys know, people that actually have the benefit of understanding the English language know what I said. Those that choose to hear what they want to hear, they go with that. But if I was a complete jackwagon, right? And believe me, it's in me. I am not any person of extraordinary virtue. Now, maybe I am virtuous because I do stop my inner self from presenting itself in public. Because who wants to be seen as a complete lunatic, which I really am. But when Soto misplays the ball in right field yesterday, I mean, I'm sure there's a screenshot of him, being down about misplaying that ball leading to 2 runs for the Cubs. Now, Jerky Mike or, Trolley Mike would have screenshotted that and then put out looking pretty glum. But I don't do that because I'm above it. And I know that when the Mets clinch over the weekend, because they will make the playoffs, there's going to be a celebration. I guarantee this, even for those that are not of that really pathetic subsection. I guarantee it, everybody, that when they win, when they clinch and they have their celebration, which they will, that there will be screenshots of him pouring champagne on somebody or having champagne poured on him. And they'll go, oh, doesn't look that unhappy, does he, Mike? Guarantee it. And I've had people tell me, you should embrace being a jerk. Because the jerky me would have maybe even sent out the entire clip of him misplaying that ball in right field. And I said, wow, doesn't look too happy here. Didn't do it. Above it. Above it. But just know, all you people out there that have gone very silent lately because the Mets have played so poorly and you have not been able to really pour it on, just know, maybe this will get to you, that I'm thinking of it. I'm just not doing it. Because, again, it wouldn't fit the narrative because I never said he was going to be glum for the rest of his life. I never said he was going to be unhappy for the rest of his life. But, again, that sick, demented subsection that wants to run with something that doesn't exist, that's what they've heard, that's what they believe, and that's what they want to run with. So I sometimes should feed into that and actually go back at you. But I don't, because I've got this 2-hour show where I could actually say things that I just said. But I didn't. I didn't send out a picture of him misplaying the ball in right field. I didn't want to upset the Met fans that I like because they weren't happy with the way that ball was played. I would have just been going for that demented, sad subsection that continue to worry about something that I said, that they think I said that I didn't say. Does that make sense? Tom Brady has a newsletter each week that he posts on Wednesday where it's called Do Your Job. And he defends what many people are calling conflict of interest. Where he said, I love football. At its core, it is a game of principles. And with all the success it's given me, I feel I have a moral and ethical duty to the sport, which is why the point where my roles in it intersect is not actually a point of conflict, despite what the paranoid and distrustful might believe. Rather, it's a place from which my ethical duty emerges to grow, evolve, and improve the game that has given me everything. When you live through uncertain and untrusting times like we are today, it's very easy to watch a person's passions and profession intersect and believe you're looking at some sort of dilemma. Because when you're blinded by distrust, it's hard to see anything other than self-interest. Beautifully written, Tom, and I'm actually on your side that it's much ado about nothing, but thou doth protest and come off a little bit too much of a saint. You did get suspended 4 games for the Deflategate. And on top of that, you destroyed the phone with all the text messages where that might have solved the problem of whether or not you told those people to deflate the footballs. So don't come off as so virtuous that there's no way that we could think that, you get information from a team and give it back to the Raiders. That comes off a little bit too much, Tom. It really does. And again, this is coming from somebody who's on your side. But that way that you're arguing there, it's kind of a weak way to argue. Because, again, you're making yourself out to be holier than thou, and your history shows that holier than thou you're not. I think you're pretty special, but holier than thou, that's not what I would say you are. I mean, you did serve a 4-game suspension for deflating footballs. Don Hahn and Rosenberg coming up. In the words of Billy Joel, life is a series of hellos and goodbyes. I'm afraid it's time for goodbye again. See everybody. Have a wonderful day. We'll talk to you again tomorrow at 1. Hey, right now, Bay Ridge Honda, your EV countdown to $7,500 in savings ends September 30th. Hurry in, the clock is ticking. You can get a Prologue Touring for $179 per month with 0 down during the EV Countdown sales event. Plus, receive thousands in benefits and savings with their Bay Ridge Plus Advantage plan. Upfront pricing, total peace of mind. Visit BayRidgeHonda.com. 36 months lease, 10,000 miles per year, $3,300 loyalty or conquest, and $7,500 EV credit as down payment.
This right